close between two incumbent Republican senators and their Democratic rivals. For more, we're joined on the KCBS Ring Central Newsline by Cliff Albright. He's the co-founder and executive director of Black Voters Matter Fund. Cliff, thanks for coming back with us. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well, thanks. So what's the focus of your organization around this election right now?
Well, that's a hard question to answer. I mean, right now, we're focused on reaching out to as many people as possible to do two things. One, if they've already got their vote-by-mail ballots, we're doing the vote-by-mail chase to try to get folks to return those. At this point, we obviously won't want people putting anything in the mail because it's not going to get there. But there are drop boxes in some counties. There are early voting sites where they can just go and walk up and drop off the vote-by-mail. So we're putting a big push on getting people to return those by hand. We're also obviously doing a big early voting push. We have early voting up until New Year's Eve, up until the 31st. In fact, we're going to be doing one of our biggest programs of this voting cycle. We're going to be doing a program at 30 polling places in 30 counties where we're doing a New Year's Eve-based food giveaway early vote party in 30 different counties all at the same time around lunchtime on December 31st. So we got that big push going on. At the end of the day, we're really just trying to talk to people about helping folks to understand the importance of this election, what the issues are, why the Senate is at stake, and why it's so important. So we're also layering our ground game with a big $1 billion buy that we're doing on social and digital and radio advertising, texting, phone banking. You name the form of outreach, that's what we're doing right now.
And just to remind our listeners, although this has been national news, although it's Georgia, the Senate balance, the Senate majority hangs in the balance here. Basically, if the two Republicans are back in, the Republicans have the majority in the Senate. But if the two Democrats get in, with Kamala Harris having a deciding tie-breaking vote, then the Democrats are in power there. So what do we know about the early voting numbers so far?
Yeah, I mean, we've been seeing historic turnout really on the early vote, especially for a runoff, right? Like we were throughout most of last week and even earlier this week, we were basically looking at turnout that's been somewhere around 97, 98% of what we saw in the general election up until a similar point. In other words, 15 days ago, whatever the general was at was 15 days ago. At this point, 15 days ago, we were at 98% of that. So the turnout was tracking the same timing that we've seen on a general election, which really puts us in a position where we're going to be very close, I believe, very close to what the turnout was, the total vote count for the general election. I believe we're going to be very close. And in fact, I've been telling people, and some people, think I'm just being, unrealistic, but I've been telling people that we've got a real chance to actually exceed the turnout that we saw for the general election. Like, that's how much energy there is, especially after seeing in the general election, Georgia doing something that it's never done, which is flipping, in the presidential race, and black voters and brown voters and others feeling like, we were the folks that helped make that happen. And so you've got black folks that are really excited who finally see that our votes actually matter, that we can actually impact the direction that this state takes. So I really think there's a lot of momentum that's at our backs and, really pushing us forward. And again, I believe that we're going to see, and we've already been seeing really kind of historic turnout even during this early vote period.
All right. Well, Cliff, we will check back in with you. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. Cliff Albright, co-founder and executive director of Black Voters Matters Fund.